An overview of the National Marine Sanctuary Program in the words of the staff members, community members, and partners of the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary.
Okay, aloha. My name's Alan Tom, and I am the superintendent of the 12th National Marine Sanctuary, the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary. And I am calling in from the island of Maui, where our headquarters is located.
I'm William Carrier, Lieutenant William Carrier with the NOAA Corps. My position at the Humpback Sanctuary is Vessel Operations Coordinator and Facility Manager.
I'm Patty Miller. I am the Education Outreach Coordinator for the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary.
Well, my name is Ed Lyman. I'm the Natural Resource Specialist for the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary. But I also have another role, another title, and that is I'm the Large Whale Entanglement Response Coordinator for the sanctuary, but also under and working with NOAA Fisheries in their Marine Mammal Health and Stranding Response Program.
See, in 2016, I was fortunate and able to join Papahanaumokuakea. I'm a research ecologist there, and so the role that I currently play is a dual research and project management / policy and planning role.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Cindy Among Sorao, and I am the Hawaii Island Program Coordinator with the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary. I am contracted through the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation.
Aloha, I am Maka'ala Kaumoana. I am currently the Vice Chair of the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary Advisory Council, and I am Executive Director of the Hanalei Watershed Hui, which has an MOU partnership with NOAA Sanctuaries. But I also am a member of the Hawaii State Environmental Council and a founding member of Kua'aina Ulua Wamo, which both of those entities have statewide kuleana responsibility.
My name is Jessica Paros, and I am the volunteer coordinator at the Waikiki Aquarium.
So we're a federal program, and we are now 15 federally marine protected areas in the waters, marine waters, and the Great Lakes around the United States. And we were created by Congress in 1972 to sort of be a mirror image of the national park system, but in the ocean. The difference with us is that, unlike the national parks, we don't own the ocean. You know, a national park owns that land where the volcano or the Everglades is located, but we are in the ocean, and so nobody owns the ocean. So we facilitate multi-uses. So we do have places that are multi-use, but we also have places that are completely shut off to the public. Papahanaumokuakea, the Northwestern Hawaiian Islands National Marine Monument, is an area that is shut down completely. So we have a whole spectrum of marine protected areas that are under our umbrella of the Office of National Marine Sanctuaries, and we really focus on research, education, and really protecting that area for future generations by working with the communities. So I like to say my job is just to make sure the trains run on time, that the people get the funding they need to do. So I have a staff, I want to say about 5 or 6 federal employees, and then a whole cadre of volunteers throughout the main Hawaiian Islands. And they go out and they do the fun stuff. They do the outreach, they do the research, they do the disentanglement of the whales. But my job is to make sure they have enough money to do it and all the necessary approvals.
As facility manager, I have a 1.3 acre campus here at the Humpback Sanctuary. It's in Kihei. It involves 3 buildings with a visitor center. What some of my duties include, not limited to maintenance of the entire facility, upkeep of the entire facility, safety of the entire facility, training for some of the staff, and then work with Alan, our superintendent, on keeping things updated,
The education program and outreach program hits all levels, from preschoolers up through adults, grandparents. We hit all levels of people. That the education program itself is working with school kids. When school groups come down for about 3 hours when they're here, we have everything from college classes that come in to high school. Our biggest group is more the elementary school program that comes in, and I think it's because it's easiest for the teachers to handle as far as field trips. But they're here for about 3 hours, and they are given an option of basically three different topics that the teachers can choose from. They all get a whale lesson, a whale lesson of some kind. And then the lessons vary depending on the age group and what the teacher is studying. It might be water quality. It could be about coral reefs. It could be about the critters that live in the ocean. A wide variety of things that they do. The activities all involved. They're all a hands-on activity. It is not just a lecture, but a hands-on kind of activity. We also take a visit into the visitor center where we've given them a scavenger hunt. Really fun to have the kids down here and volunteers that help teach that. Cannot do it by myself. We split them into groups. They round robin from thing to thing. Maximum amount of kids is 60 kids down here at a time. And that's all we can handle at one time. So it's really easy to do some good up close personal kind of teaching when you have the small groups like that. Fun stuff. We do a lot of outreach where this means we go to special events that are held in the community where we set up a couple of tables of materials. We have volunteers that man these tables. They talk about the sanctuary, about the whales. We have kids activities that go on. The outreach also goes to, we put volunteers in different facilities like the Maui Ocean Center. We would be at the Waikiki Aquarium, different places where the volunteers are actually talking to people on a regular weekly basis through these organizations, spreading the word of what we do. But we also do a lot of lectures here to the public, both during the daytime and evening lectures to community folks on environmental issues. So the outreach goes a long ways to a lot of different levels.
So the aquarium's mission is to inspire and promote understanding, appreciation, and conservation of Pacific marine life. This connects to the sanctuary a lot because I think at both of our businesses, our goal at the forefront is always ocean education and conservation. And so when we get to partner with each other, it helps because we can both spread our mission and it definitely aligns.
So our primary mission is, as a whole, is to, of course, protect humpback whales and their habitats. As the Hawaii Island Program Coordinator, so my task is to, one, relocate to Hawaii Island because we want to reconnect with the community. We want to get started with new education programs up there and hopefully, fingers crossed, to find a little space that can be an office / standalone visitor center so that more folks in the community as well as visitors that come to Hawaii Island can kind of learn more about our sanctuary system and especially the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary.
Main mission is to protect and conserve humpback whales and their environment and their habitat, okay, foundational. And to do this in a number of ways, and some of which we've already mentioned, but the research, gaining information, better understanding the animals, their habitat, the threats, the concerns out there. And then there's the more hands-on side. There's actual response. And for us, and again, my role, we, the sanctuary, takes a lead role in coordinating the large whale entanglement response. We get out there and do our best to free the whale and to gain information towards, reducing the threat. Our most important response tool, okay, is the response boat.
The other side of one of the larger hats I wear, probably the biggest, is vessel operations coordinator. Mainly our vessel is a research vessel that's used for humpback whale research. So with the vessel, during the regular season, I schedule the captains and then work with the crew go out on the vessel. I'm in charge of scheduling maintenance on the vessel. And then occasionally, when we're not conducting our own research, we'll charter the vessel out to visiting scientists.
We have this technology that we have at the sanctuary, which are called ears. They're listening devices. They're big round listening devices that go at the bottom of the ocean. And they can be, they mainly monitor whales. So for us, they're monitoring whale songs and populations, but they can be adjusted to monitor dolphins, vessel traffic, anything you want. And then you take the ear, sits down there on the bottom of the ocean for a period of time, and then we go and retrieve the ear. We take it back to our offices, download the data, and then you can look at the signature lines and you can get an example of what is going on in the ocean. So the Nature Conservancy in the state of Hawaii are using the ears, using our technology to go place ears at some of these these state marine protected areas to try to get a gauge of like, well, who's out there in the water, or how many dolphins are using this as a resting area. So there's great application for some of the technology that we've developed. Another one is that our disentanglement person who disentangles the whales, I think they use the same method to disentangle a whale shark.
So I'm working on with a team to try to come up with a resilience plan for that location. And we're looking at everything from trying to understand exactly what kind of rate those habitats are being changed at, to potential solutions.
We bring this protection, but the common thread is we do education, we do outreach, and we do research. And another common thread is we all have advisory councils attached to us. And these are made up of citizens and other local organizations who are interested in providing advice to the National Marine Sanctuary on how to best continue our management. So that is something we're very proud that we have, over, 200 Sanctuary Advisory Council members across the United States providing input into the management of the National Marine Sanctuary.
So the Sanctuary Advisory Council is a bunch of community members as well as governmental seats, and they basically kind of provide guidance to their sanctuary superintendents just on how maybe programs should be kind of run. And it's really to get the community members involved with our sanctuaries. So as the Sanctuary Advisory Council coordinator, we kind of just help be the liaison between our advisory council members as well as our staff, and make sure the council is meeting periodically, any type of coordination with the meetings, or if they have any resolutions, letters, also staff recruitment.
The work right now is to develop the Sanctuary Advisory Council as a culturally guided entity. I thought that I could contribute our angle, our experience, our knowledge to that process, specifically as it related to the sanctuary as it exists within Honolulu. Doing advisory council work is not everybody's cup of tea. It's not like you're going to feel in 1 week's time that you got a lot done. It's a very slow process, and that's okay. That's okay. Good stuff happens at the end of the day.
We have these huge volunteer networks that we work with of citizens who volunteer their time to help educate others. On Maui, we go into the hotels, the aquariums, walking the beaches. These are the volunteers, not me, that talk about, hey, did you know there's a marine sanctuary out there? Did you know these are some of the rules and regulations? And I know in Florida and in California, they go out in kayaks just to inform the public. And I say 9 times out of 10, the public is very responsive and they want to do the right thing, which is really grateful. That's really good to see.
Yeah, I think the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary has a lot to offer, especially for community members, members of the public, schools, whether it's just getting some information or lesson plans, resources from us. I think we have a lot of resources that we have to offer.
Sanctuaries are and other locations are designed to be multiple use. So the goal is really conservation. It's conservation of resources that are there, restoration of things that are not in a good spot. So the idea is that sustainable fishing is compatible with conservation, right? That's the idea of a sanctuary. That's a simple example of that.
And then there's another thing that we never talk about, the economic impact of whales. Whale watching is big in Hawaii. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, as it is in many other parts of the world. Well, in general, let me start there. I think our program, we partner with a lot of different groups because, again, we have to. We're a small program, but it just helps extend our reach. So anywhere from JetBlue to national parks to other groups across the nation, we will partner with. And that is really to, how do we exchange ideas, information, research, whatever might be necessary.
I think Alan has made great connections so that if there's a project that he's working on with like the national offices and then other sanctuaries, sometimes he'll bring us in, like webinars we'll be a part of. So when you're able to partner, you're able to reach more people and in turn educate more people.
When we, the Watershed Hui, decided to become a partner with the sanctuary here, it was to benefit both of us in a better understanding of the connection between the land and the sea.
Some of those response resources are the rest of that partnership, the rest of the network, the rest of the team. And it could be state and federal agencies like, NOAA Fisheries. I already said we work very closely with NOAA Fisheries with this effort. In fact, we work under them as well. They are the lead agency on the authorization, okay? So, and then you've got state agencies like for Hawaii, it's the Department of Land and Natural Resources and all the agencies under them. You got the U.S. Coast Guard and NOAA's Office of Law Enforcement.
And the way that the site works is that, each of these agencies, so we have NOAA, 2 offices in NOAA. One is Office of National Marine Sanctuaries. The other is National Marine Fisheries Service. And then for Fish and Wildlife, there are 2 offices, the Refuges Office and the Ecological Services Office. And then for State of Hawaii, there's a Department of Aquatic Resources and Department of Forestry and Wildlife. And then there's the Office of Hawaiian Affairs as well. And so all of these offices come together to represent what we call the Monument Management Board. So that board is what decides what management happens with Monument.
It's really a big connected web being with NOAA, which is kind of fun also in itself, just getting to meet all the different scientists, education, and outreach folks, the graphic designers, IT folks, admins. I think it's just a really great family kind of network. So it's fun.
The more we learn about the world, the more, first of all, we realize we don't know. And then secondly, the more we realize the connections and the reason to just be still and listen sometimes and notice the differences.